voice from Eluned Morgan, member of the Senedd for Mid and West Wales, who joins us here again on Ask Eluned on a Wednesday morning. Bore da, Shemai, how are you?
Bore da, very well. Yeah, another busy week, but back for more with you, so that's great. Got a busy day today, but I'll tell you about that in a minute.
A busy day today. I can't wait to hear all about it and what you're going to be getting up to. How have the last 7 days been? These weeks, they all roll into one, I imagine, with your calendar.
Yeah, they do, and there's always a lot of political pressure. There's always a lot of balancing. Obviously, we're starting to prepare for budgets and things now, and that makes a big difference. And it's tricky. We've got a by-election in Caerphilly, so I've been up there. So lots and lots of things going on, and visits and things as well. So it's been a another full-on week, which is how I like it.
That is good. It keeps you out of trouble, I imagine.
It certainly does. Although I must say, I took a rare Saturday off on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
And I know that doesn't happen very often. And I binge watched The House of Guinness.
So I love that. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. So I don't get to do that very often. But that was a really good and very rare occasion of just pure chilling.
And do you recommend House of Guinness, Eluned?
I do. And I'd never watched Peaky Blinders, so I didn't really know the style. So yeah, I loved it.
That's your next binge watch.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it'll be a while before I get to do that again.
I don't want to encourage irresponsible drinking, but there are alcohol-free versions available. Can you split the G, Eluned?
No, that is true. I read somewhere recently that Waitrose actually sells more zero Guinness than the real thing now.
Oh wow!
Wow,
isn't that interesting? Yeah,
that is.
But I'm actually not a really big drinker, so
wasted on you.
It is a bit wasted on me, but the story was good.
Yeah. Before we jump into our main themes here this morning, one thing that I posed towards the end of our conversation last week was about First Minister's questions. This is something that you have to put yourself through every single week. You're accountable to the other members of the Senedd and to us who voted you in. I got to wondering, how much preparation and how much knowledge do you have of the questions beforehand? And I thought, well, that might be interesting for other people to find out.
Yeah. Look, you do have to put a lot of preparation into this, because whilst the first question that is about to come, you have no idea what the follow-ups are going to be. So people can take those follow-ups anywhere, and of course you have no idea what the leaders of the opposition will go on. Absolutely none. They can go anywhere at all. So you do have to do a huge amount of preparation. I do spend, I don't know, at least 4 hours on a Sunday, just preparing and also just asking questions. It's an opportunity also to kind of go, well, why are we doing that? How does that work? And just getting more information out. So it's actually a really good discipline, a way of getting across all of the portfolios as well. It's there's a lot of preparation, and then the day before and the day itself, you have to really be on top of what's going on in the news. And obviously last week we had the terrible events in Manchester, didn't we, with the attack on the synagogue, and you have to kind of think, right, what does that mean for us? How is that going to affect us? Are our synagogues in Wales safe? I had to phone up the rabbi in Cardiff just to kind of go, right, have you got everything you need? Have you got the police protection? So it's all of that kind of trying to prevent problems from arising. We do a huge amount of extinguishing fires before they start, and you never get to hear about those. But I do have a little secret weapon for First Minister's questions. So I'm usually, kind of really worked up about it and try and get in the zone. And my secret weapon is a handful of Haribos just before I go in.
Do you have a particular favourite bag? Are you a Star Mix or a Tang Fastix kind of?
I'm a bit more of a Tang Fastic.
Oh, yes. That's what I've got backstage whenever I'm on stage. It's all about the Tang Fastix for me. Yeah. Keep that rush going for all of those questions. Well, thank you very much for that insight and giving us that further insight of that wider awareness that it's more than just the policies and procedures. There's people, and there's real risk at stake in those meetings.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, just trying to prevent things is really important. And also you just get to know about what's happening across the whole country, because people are asking you questions from across the country as well.
Yeah. And then talking of around the country and around the county, some of the main topic that we're going to talk about here today is actually looking at transport improvements. We've got the interchange hub in Haverfordwest that's looking very tall at the moment. There's been images released of something similar in Milford Haven around the train station. What's your view on this as our representative for Mid and West Wales?
Well, look, I'm delighted. I don't know why it's taken so damn long. It's been driving me nuts every time I go past. Why does it take so long to do these things? But you can see things developing now, particularly in Haverfordwest. So we've got the interchange, and obviously that will replace the old multi-storey car park and a bus station with a really new smart hub, and that will bring together the bus and coach and taxi and cycling facilities and promote better access to the railway and shopping centre. And we do need to make sure we revive our town centres, so that's really good and getting in the right place. And then in Milford Haven, we've invested £6 million to completely transform the train station into a modern hub, again, linking those trains and buses and taxis and active travel and things. So I think that's really heading in the right direction. And in Tenby, we've got a brand new accessible passenger transport bridge. So that's part of the UK government's Access for All programme, because, you know, disabled people need to get on our public transport as well. So we've been really supportive of that. And the really good news in relation to transport is we've got new class 197 trains. So they're running on most of the services now from Carmarthen to Milford Haven, Pembroke Dock and Fishguard. And, you know, we've spent a lot of money on these trains. So we hope people will use them, and they're much, much better.
The feedback that sometimes comes through is that why is there only 2 carriages heading up towards Cardiff? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I can look into that. The important thing is that, you know, those carriages are full. And I guess, you know, we just need to make sure that they're used properly, and then there'll be a commercial decision, right? You know, can we fill a third? Can we? So, and obviously at the moment we're trying to introduce these new trains, most of which have been made in Wales. So lots and lots of new jobs. We've spent a lot of money on this. So getting people to use those trains is really important for us. And the next thing, of course, will be that we'll be shifting our focus onto buses, which is perhaps more relevant in a lot of our rural areas. And we're just about to change the law on that, because Thatcher deregulated the buses, and we're just about to re-regulate them, which means that local authorities and the Welsh Government will be able to direct the buses to where we want them to go, rather than, you know, people just picking off routes that are profitable. And obviously that just doesn't work in a rural area in quite the same way as a city.
Yeah, I've had some feedback about them. I know that the local authority's trying with the flexi buses, so you book your bus almost, but then if you've missed out your window, then all of a sudden you've got to wait for it to finish its round of flexis before it goes back. So nice to see that there's some other decision making being put into place for that. And of course, the aim of this is to get people back into our towns.
It is, and you know, trying to get people into towns. First of all, ideally, we want them to go on public transport, but you know, we've got to be honest. Most people use cars. And lots of people I know from being in my office in Haverfordwest can get really frustrated by the problems during rush hour. So we're not far from Salutation Square, so the traffic builds up, and the responsibility for that roundabout and what happens there is kind of shared between the Welsh Government and the county. So we're working together now on a solution. And I'm pleased to say that that is getting in the right direction. So I've had confirmation in the last few weeks that Haverfordwest is now in the schedule of works that are going to include improvements, not just there, but also around Merlin Bridge roundabout, because that's, again, has been an area where there's been a lot of build-up of traffic.
Yeah, whilst we're live on the air, our reporters out and about are saying that the queues at Merlin's Bridge are currently over Dredgeman's Hill into Pope Hill. So it's a very regular feature here on the breakfast show. Travel. And then, of course, once then you're in the towns, of course, we've had the Occupy development in Haverford West. There's the new bridge, which of course was externally funded over in Pembroke Dock. There's the Quayside development. There are nice places for people to go to. It's just about filling them up now.
Oh, definitely. And, we are seeing a transformation because, a lot of our town centres were looking a bit drab and people have moved out, and you can see the out of town developments. So we've had a very deliberate policy in the Welsh Government of putting town centres first. So any planning development that we've got control of, where we've got government ability to put things in the town centre, we go ahead and do that just to try and revive them. We've spent £300 million on transforming our town centre since 2020. So, and Haverford West is getting an amount of that money, and obviously there's going to be the opening of the Western Quayside in Haverford West very soon, and that's something I hope people will welcome. And it's the beginning of a transformation, will, I hope, suck people back into what is now a really pleasant area for people to hang out.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And back to the transport there, you mentioned rurality. Of course, I was in conversation with you when they opened up the new A40 bypass, but a few questions that have come in. Abigail, you mentioned it just before we went through about why is it only 3 lanes, Abs?
Well,
yeah, that's what I'd like to know.
Well, look, it was actually eye-watering amount of money to get 3 lanes, right? So that's the first thing to say. And a lot of that money came from Europe. So it was European funding that we kind of snuck in there right at the end. So, it was difficult for us to find extra money for that. But at least, with 3 lanes, there's an opportunity for you to be able to overtake, which wasn't true before. So there's and I do think it's made a huge difference. It definitely, I really feel the difference traveling from Cardiff. It does cut out a bit, and it's just also rather beautiful, I think, looking over the Preseli's there.
It is very pretty.
It is arguably the prettiest road, I think, that we've got in the area, having that unspoilt view of the Preseli's. I think it's great. It would have been nice, but it's something for the future. Talking of the future, how is your next couple of days and your next 7 days looking?
Well, I've got a really busy day today, so I'm just about to go off and speak at a big renewable energy conference, and obviously renewable energy is absolutely key for Pembrokeshire, and talking about, look, where's the supply chains, how do we get local jobs, how do we get the skills in the right place, how do we make sure planning's sorted. So a lot of discussion around that. And then I'm off to the barracks in Brecon, so the army barracks. So just to go and visit our military personnel there, and then I'm going to be unveiling a statue to Gwenllian Morgan, who was a real leader of the town many years ago, and she happens to share the name of my daughter, so that'll be a special occasion. And then getting up to North Wales then this evening, and visiting the new Theatre Clwyd, which is a massive redevelopment. We spent a lot of money on that as well, so going to have a look at that and how that's developed. And then we have a special North Wales meeting and a few visits then up in North Wales. So good to get about, and then back home then for Thursday evening, late Thursday evening. I'll be on my knees by then, but a whole day's worth of visits on Friday as well, obviously in the constituency. I've got lots of great things to look forward to there as well. So so there's a lot coming up.
It sounds that way. I look forward to catching up next Wednesday with you and finding out how it's all been and how it's all gone. And Theatre Clwyd work very closely with the Torch Theatre, of course, in Milford Haven. So hopefully there's some exciting developments with their development, with more co-working between the two organisations. And they've got their opening night for the Turn of the Screw this evening, if you fancy a little bit of a Park Ghost story in Milford Haven. Thank you so much. You picked The Fate of Ophelia as your first track. Are you a Swiftie? Did you catch her in Cardiff?
Well, do you know what? I haven't been, but I'm kind of catching on. I know I'm late to the party, and I know everybody's been there. But yeah, I did. My one treat of the week is the Graham Norton show, So she was on the Graham Norton show, wasn't she? And I just thought, okay, I'm going to listen to this. And I did. I had a real day off on Saturday. It's so rare, I can't tell you. So that was really great, and I did listen to the whole album. And so that was good. But I think you're playing another one now, aren't you? Playing another one of my songs. What have you got there?
We've got another one coming up in just a short moment after we look at some what's ons of the Pembroke Coast National Park and another traffic update. A little bit of Queen we've got lined up.
Now Queen is my band. That is our family band. We spend our whole time just singing Queen songs. We're absolute Queen fanatics in our family. So this is a really cool song. So I think I've chosen You're My Best Friend. Is that right?
We've got that coming up next for you. Do you want to dedicate it to any particular friends, or is it just to all of them?
Do you know what? I've got a particular friend, Cochin. I called her Cochin. She's not even Welsh, but she's got red hair. And so everybody caught on and calls her Cochin now. So that's quite funny. And she's been my rock for many years. So that's been great.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's been so great to catch up with you this morning. Safe travels and enjoy your next couple of days in the weekend. And we look forward to hearing all about it next week.
Diolch yn fawr. Have a great weekend.
Diolch yn fawr. It's gone 20 past 8. Your celebrations and unscrambled letters still to come here on Pure West Radio.
Wonderful Wednesday, sponsored by Price and Calway.